back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.
And here is the best part. You have a head start if you are among the very young at heart.
And welcome back. This is Boomer Life on CL 650. I'm Joanne Sutton. Thanks for joining us today. I'm also joined in the studio with our friends from HomeCareAssistance. And we have Carolina Arosa, President of HomeCareAssistance, and Jay Arosa, Partner and Director. So over 747,000 Canadians are currently living with Alzheimer's or another form of dementia. And worldwide, that translates into about 44 million people living with dementia, more than the entire population of Canada. So we can conclude that this disease is basically a global health crisis that needs to be addressed. A diagnosis of Alzheimer's is completely life-changing for the person with the disease and as well for their family, their spouse, their friends. But information and support are available, and we want you to know that no one has to face Alzheimer's disease or another dementia alone. And this is where I honestly believe that HomeCareAssistance comes in as well, because Carolina, we understand that you have a very special program and service that's designed specifically to deal with the great care and attention deserving of Alzheimer's and dementia. And this is the cognitive therapeutic method. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Joanne, I mean, first of all, I'd like to say that, again, this issue is something that's very close to my heart because my father was diagnosed with dementia toward the latter stages. And so this is a journey that I've witnessed firsthand, him going through, as well as my mom as his primary caregiver having to go through with him. So I've walked in the shoes of someone who has a family member that is experiencing dementia. And so I know the toll it takes. I know how difficult of a journey it is. So that's why I'm very proud that we do have this program called Cognitive Therapeutics. So it really is, we hired a neuropsychologist in home to develop these series of workbooks and tools that our caregivers can do one-on-one with the clients in their home. So unlike other, I guess, memory games out there that are either done on the computer or institutional settings, our program is designed for the caregivers to do in the home one-on-one so that it's not an intimidating atmosphere for the client, and it's not time-based like a lot of the software programs that the seniors do on the computer. First of all, the computer in and of itself is overwhelming for seniors. Then to have to engage a software that is, time-based, plus you don't move to the next level until you get the answer right is, all those variables are very overwhelming and can be very stressful for seniors. And on the other hand, you have like all these, I guess, mind tests that are done in clinical settings. That in and of itself is also intimidating and very clinical in nature. So with our program, we make sure that the client is very comfortable with it. There are varying degrees of difficulty depending on their level of cognition. And it's not about getting the right or wrong answer. It's about the process. So that's what we always tell our caregivers. Just make sure that it's done in a way that's fun, that's nurturing and encouraging for the client, because as long as they're engaged in the process, their mind is already being stimulated in and of itself. Secondly, this program doesn't deal with just the memory. Our program deals with the 5 different domains. So memory, executive functioning, attention, language, and visual spatial perception. So it covers the entire mind, if you will. And so that's why, this program isn't good not just for the ones who are suffering from dementia, but anyone who's suffering from any level of cognitive impairment, whether it be some mild form of depression or something else. Or even for someone like me, who sometimes, is starting to get a little forgetful or may need a little exercise for my brain once in a while. This is a program that would, serve me well as well. Again, the beauty is that there are different levels for different levels of cognition, and it's a very flexible program.
So this is something that's actually incorporated into the caregiving. It's not like somebody comes into the home and sits down. It's like we're having a class now on cognitive ability.
Absolutely. And what's key to the success of this program is the relationship that the caregiver has with their client. So what we try to do is have the caregiver develop a relationship first with them and then ease them into this program. We don't want the clients to feel like they're being tested in any way, or that, this is a reflection on who they are or their level of intellect in any way whatsoever. So like you said, it's gently eased into the whole process.
So what would a comprehensive care plan for a senior with Alzheimer's look like?
Well, I mean, I think the first thing is, again, we would find out what their level of cognition currently is, what they're capable of doing on their own, what areas they need assistance with. We'd also want trying to find out from their family members, what are the goals that you have for your loved one, and what areas do you feel that they're most struggling with. So when we look at their care plan, we take into consideration not just, sort of what we can do from a mental standpoint, but we can also do from a physical standpoint, from a social standpoint, from, just basic care standpoint. So we really put together a comprehensive plan for the client, taking into consideration all those variables.
Do you get a lot of calls from clients about your level of care for Alzheimer's or dementia patients?
We do. I mean, I would say at least half, if not more, of our calls are for dementia clients. And again, aside from the cognitive therapeutics, there are other things that we offer as well that really make us experts in this field. Like I mentioned earlier in the show, we have these dedicated case managers, all of who are, again, master's degree in social work or nurses, and all our certified dementia practitioners. So these are seasoned experts with over 20 years under their belt of helping deal with clients who have dementia. So they understand the behaviors, they understand the levels of communication that need to happen in order to help our clients.
So how do you implement the specialized caregiver training program? How do you ensure that your staff, so to speak, are up to speed?
Well, first of all, we don't hire anyone that's not formally trained. So they already come to us with formal training. Secondly, we put them through our very own HomeCareAssistance University. We're the only agency that has our own university that we offer free of charge to our clients, to our caregivers. And within that university is a plethora of courses that they can take. And one huge section is dedicated just purely to understanding dementia, how to deal with dementia clients, different behavioral techniques, communication techniques, and whatnot. So we provide that on an ongoing basis to our caregivers. And then if some of them are selected to provide the cognitive therapeutics program to our clients, they undergo a specialized training for that as well. And we do role play with them to make sure they know how to administer it properly in their home. And the case managers shadow the caregivers in the home to make sure that they're engaging the client in the proper manner. And then we have also a series of tests that we do afterwards to monitor the progress of the clients as well.
Yeah, I did also just want to point out, Joanne, that I'm sure many of the listeners out there know that currently there is no medication, or there is nothing that can actually cure or stop dementia out there, unfortunately, and hopefully we get to something soon, including this cognitive therapeutic method. However, there are a number of things that clients, patients, and their families can do to preserve the level of cognition that people suffering from dementia have. And this program we have, that's why we're very proud of it, is a good example of something that seniors and clients can be engaging in to make sure they preserve whatever level of cognition they have as much as they can. Mm-hmm. So there's things they can do. The other thing I wanted to point out is something that you touched on earlier, that whether it be this cognitive therapeutic method program or the added level of case management and supervision that we provide for our caregivers, this is something that's free. It's an added value. We don't charge extra for this. It's part of our regular caregiving services.
It's a high level of professionalism and education that you bring as a complete package.
Absolutely.
That's what I'm hearing. I liked how you mentioned, Jay, that there were a number of things that people can do to improve cognitive ability. I call them tools and tricks. Mm-hmm. And one of them would definitely be music. But unless you're educated to specifically know how to deal and how encourage the best life out of someone who's diagnosed with Alzheimer's, we wouldn't know what to do as a spouse, as a caregiver.
Absolutely. And I think also, too, it helps that we're a third party that's objective, that can come in and, do these exercises with the loved one. Because sometimes, if a family member does it, there's a different level of dynamic. And, we've often encountered our clients who are resistant to doing anything with their family members because, they have a pre-existing relationship that, again, doesn't allow for that. So it's a different dynamic altogether. And we have the benefit of being an objective party without any of these variables and can get our clients engaged as a result.
So as you measure up in the industry, I'm just trying to see where you differ from other agencies and other services provided by other companies. I don't think anybody has this level of dementia care.
Yeah, I mean, not to our knowledge. I know that we're the only agency that offers this type of proprietary program specifically targeting dementia care. I mean, there are other agencies that have partnered with other companies to provide this type, but we're the only ones that have, you know, taken it to the extent of actually hiring a neuropsychologist and, you know, a team of experts to actually develop something for us that we can do with our clients.
Well, I guess a reminder here as well is that you don't have to face this difficult journey alone. You can reach out to Home Care Assistance of Vancouver today. You can schedule a complimentary, no obligation consultation with one of their friendly case managers. You are here to help 24/7.
Absolutely.
Correct. This is Boomer Life on CL 650, and joining us in the studio today from Home Care Assistance, we have Carolina Arosa, President of Home Care Assistance, and Jay Arosa, Partner and Director at Home Care Assistance. We're learning how this company wants to change the way that the world ages with personalized care and services for you in your home, wherever that may be. More details are coming up about live-in care and some hourly services available from Home Care Assistance. It's all on Boomer Life on CL 650.
Celebrating the baby boomer lifestyle. This is Boomer Life on CL 650.